science is about this scientific method. It's a thinking process of doing science. When you try to solve a problem, you have to make a hypothesis, figure out how you're going to solve it. You have to go through the mathematical steps to solving equations and so on. And that seemed really cool to me because in elementary school, for example, I really liked Nancy Drew. And I realized that science is like a Nancy Drew novel in that you have to focus on the process of solving the mystery or answering the question as much as you want to find out the answer to the mystery itself. There's a webcomic called XKCD, and one of the entries from several years back has several stick figures of professionals. And when I saw that, that was like an aha, because I realized that all these different seemingly disparate branches of knowledge are actually connected.
Ever since I was young, I was surrounded by science. My dad is an electrical engineer and my mom is an artist, so I received both sides of the spectrum in terms of imagination. It really interested me in how you could simply ask a question and find an answer to it through a series of tests. Recently, I've been going into Alzheimer's disease, so the past 2 years I've been researching more the genetics of Alzheimer's, and so I was able to work with Phoebe Home and the residents there. They were very generous in helping me with my science fair experiment, and interacting with the participants was absolutely amazing. It was that experiment that became a lot more serious. I was able to work with a professor at Cedar Crest College, and she really helped me explore what scientific research really could develop into.
I'd say my scientific journey began around 5th grade. I just really began to appreciate the things that my science teachers did. I stayed after school during science classes. I was always the kid that raised my hand. They just really showed me the importance of presentation to the scientific community, how important hypothesizing data is, the scientific method, and just really how that can help both with discovery and spreading scientific knowledge. When I was doing my first science fair presentation, my topic was cryogenic embrittlement. Basically, I was super freezing different household objects and smashing them with something we called the smasher. It just showed me how science, you could really just bring it into your house, and even just household objects, just interact and see the scientific forces at work.
My scientific journey, I feel, was inspired by my passion for music. I really liked Mozart because his music was sort of mathematical. I started playing the trumpet when I was in 4th grade, and this led to many future opportunities in music. I got accepted to the Philadelphia Youth Orchestra in my junior year of high school. So my aha moment was the first time that I played in Verizon Hall at the Kimmel Center in Philadelphia. First time I walked in, I looked up and saw this huge space, really intricate designs, unique spot, and I was talking to my friends, and they said that the sound there was, they termed it perfect. So I went to my physics teacher. I was really intrigued, and she said that with the right materials and configurations that the perfect sound is possible. And this was definitely my aha moment because it compiled all the different things that I was learning in school and connected them to music.
I had a student that went to our school whose mother I became acquainted with, and she was very interested in the way I taught my children science at such a young age. As I got to know her better, our friendship, really became solidified over this shared idea of interest in science and sharing it with small children. In my journey with young children, I knew from many activities that I would do with children how excited they become when they're engrossed with their whole body, playfully. I have to continually be inquiring, and it's a continual inquiry for myself, reading and becoming more aware of things as they progress in science in general. And in terms of my students, what I'd like them to take away is that they should leave every day with a question or a reflection on the day before, and that becomes our cycle, our chain that we continue.
There are so many talented, dedicated, creative, and innovative teachers in the Lehigh Valley that allow students to experience science in a meaningful way.
STEM has taken science out of the textbooks and taken it into the real world. The ability to have STEM as a new way of teaching allows students to experience science hands-on, and so it makes science real, but it also makes science fun. The impact that the teacher makes on your life is more important than any lesson or any facts that they could possibly teach you. There isn't any facts or data that I would like any students to walk away in my class from. What I would like them to be able to do is say, hey, science is really cool. And I would like them to be able to have an innate curiosity about science for the rest of their life after having science with me.
Every day, I am given an opportunity, a uniquely challenging opportunity, to open my students' eyes to the wonderment of science.
Being able to share something I love so much with others through teaching makes me feel like the richest man alive. My journey in STEM began when I was in third grade. I was riding my bike up around Tamaqua High School, and I came across this biology book. And I remember looking around, seeing if anybody was in the area, and I claimed it as my own. My aha moment in science is when students come back and they tell me that they've gone on to pursue careers in science. And I tell my students every day as they walk out of my room is to just be their best. So if their best is also pursuing something in science, then they've done well, and I know I've done well. I will admit that receiving a prize like this is better than any Grammy or Oscar award because of its roots in science.
The Vinci Science Center has done an outstanding job of engaging and exciting students in the STEM fields for many, many years.
When I decided I wanted to be a teacher, it was almost like a lightning bolt came down, and it just struck me, this is what I was meant to do. I decided that I wanted to pass along what I learned to my students.
You start asking yourself questions. Am I really making a difference? Are they getting it? And then that one student who's struggling, who's not getting it, he gets it. And it puts a smile on your face, and you realize it is worth it. I am making a difference, and this is really what it's all about. And those make those not so great days into great days.
One thing I could take away from my class, honestly, there's days I feel like I learned more from my students than I could ever teach them. I feel I actually learned topics that I thought I knew really well, better than I ever could have if I wasn't a teacher. Every day when I get to work, that is my goal, to take the next step in making our program #1.